Especially was the dishes in the special shows and the restoration and then it all in some English and English. Yes, in the English. Where the function is the impression of the estimation. No, the machine is not on the one of the very nice things. Remember the thing which one was the one of the program and the very if you might remember the sound of the mir aber durch mit dem so das ist schon scheiße wegen der dann das ist auch scheiße mit dem jeder durch habe ich dann mit dem so mit dem das sind die da kann ich aber ich würde das ist das wieder so das ist schon mehr schon mal dann man que como se mueve se llama que yo tengo que hablar espacio para la mía hay de personas que son de la vida pues yo no sé si son de la vida si la verdad no sé lo que significa tanto eso que no lo podemos hacer para la vida económica no se mueve no para la vida no me quiero mover mucho no me siento de que no se puede hacer nada pues me toca hacer cosas que no tengo que hacer cosas que yo no tengo que hacer pero me lo puedo tengo que hacer una forma de hacer que es una forma de Symbols we see as mission words. Travel animals is a appreciation and fish over. That of their might this night of a might is on
Yastandat Kirtaran, Panami Kiran, Panami Sun, Bakshayandi, Bakshayaskar Merabang, Asamagnam, Parit Pashimanam, Papatitam, Vishambam, Vaistamasti, Vishasti, Vishamai, Yarashai, Vaisai, Shem. Nirang Firoz Kirbang, Korabidanai, Mazdiyasnam, Rababam, Ravandarafte Keshwar, Ram Chesti, Atrandar Kamba, Hasta Sharestan, Nandar, Haro Sharestan, Pori Firodi, Shadi Ramas Niraban, Korek Jasti, Avazun Bam, Dawazun Terbam, Korek Jasti Bam, Vishnuman, Sarosha Show, Takitan Farma. Stick after Zins in Avazan, Salaridamani, Auramastan, Perissa. Kiraga Rojashiriya Keshirasne Kardeyom Darunyasteyom Yazdamirai Yainin Yokardeya Paganjay Dadarauramazda Rayoman Horiman Damishas Pandan Teresa House Bazar Niru Tagi Amavandi Firoz Kari Inchnuman Saro Shisho Tagitan Farma Stikaftazen Zinavazan Salaridamani Auramastan Teresa Asamang Pariraftarban Daimarang Panay Kirdan Nikyan Doctor Anay Paitiyan Duravasta Star Yapta Kwabang Kirari Garmyan Zazaro Madmyan Zazaro Hazar Saim Sang Ay Marang Kamrao Zantar Santar Aini Kardiyan Kasamang Zarun Pariraftar Bang Nam Chesti Anushirabandavani Osta Ratan Naval Yatpa Anushirabandavani Osta Ratan Naval Yatpa Anushirabandavani Osta Ratan Naval Yatpa Amashuruban, Amashu forever, Raidriyat Bang, Farmayasni, Amanjuman, Masdayasni, Peresa. Asho Zarathustra Spitamang, Asho forever, Raidriyat Bang, Danushirabandavani. Zarathustra Paurushaspa, Raidriyat Bang, Danushirabandavani. Yeshadvasara Zarathustra Vaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Avavi Zarathustra Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Kurshachay Zarathustra Vaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Doktabanu Paurushaspa Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Maidamaraspa Vaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Yaraspa Paitaraspa Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Paitaraspa Vaurandaspa Vaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Aurandaspa Vaitadaspa Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Echadaspai Jakshnu Saidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Jakshnu Spaitirasna Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Paitirasna Vardarasna Vaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Yardarasna Harda Raidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Yardarospitma Naidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Spitma Vendastam Vaidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Vendastam Avasan Naidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Avasan Ranjasnai Aidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Ranjasnai Darasarun Aidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Darasarun Minocher Aidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Minocher Reran Chaidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Erajfaridun Naidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Shafaridunayatavyam Naidhariyatva Anushirabandavani Yatavyam Devangam Naidhariyatva Danushirabandavani Jamshid Devangam Naidhariyatva Anushirabandvani Devangam Timura Spaitriyatpang Danushirabandvani Timura Sushang Aitriyatpang Anushirabandvani Yoshan Shyamang Kaitriyatpang Danushirabandvani Shyamang Kayamang Taitriyatpang Anushirabandvani Kayamarnarasho Vaitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Shyavakshnarasho Vaitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Dara Dara Vaitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Dara Paman Vaitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Bamanaspandya Vaitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Yaspandya Kushta Spaitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Jamasupu Vaitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Mubetshapu Mubetsheriya Vaitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Mubedormasdiya Radvadramiya Raitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Mubednadiosang Erbadaval Raitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Nam Chesti Anushirabandvani Osta Ratan Naval Raitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Osta Ratan Naval Raitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Osta Ratan Naval Raitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Yerbadnaval Nerbador Masji Aitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Asinavasvang Yerbadratan Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Beran Sunni Beran Kavasti Aitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Yerbadratan Yerbajam Sedji Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Astirabai Yervajam Sidji Aitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Yervajam Shidji Yervanasirvanji Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Astijibanbai Yervanasirvanji Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Yervanasirvanji Yervadratanji Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Astimerbai Yervadurang Vaitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Yervadurang Yervajam Sidji Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Asajangir Yervadratanji Aitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Yervadratan Yervadadapai Aitariyatpang Gerzain Karevasiyang Dinshnuman Saroshishung Tagitan Farmang Stikaftazen Zinavasan Salaridamani Yaudamastang Peresa Nam Chesti Anushirabandvani Yostaratan Nerbadnaval Aitariyatpang Anushirabandvani Astaratan Nervadnaval Aitariyatpang Danushirabandvani Astaratan Nervadnaval Aitariyatpang Amashurvang Amashu Paravan Aitariyatpang Parmayasni Amanjuman Masayasni Parisang Ama Pravashavan Yokardayang Charum Dahum Sirot Salro Saskayom Dandasaushyo Saitariyatpang Astan Buddhan Vedang Zadang Zadang Naudayustain Damnar Nari Yavarnai Purnai Harkyavarin Zami Pairi Perinai Kutaran Shudan Ama Pravashavan Yokardayang was Kayoman Dandasaushyo Saitariyatpang Kain Man Visusan Terustan Kirasten Ama Pravashavan Yokardayang was Kayoman Dandasausham Saitariyatpa Shoan Prabhas, Chiran Prabhas, Shavarvisan Prabhas, Piroskaran Prabhas, Puryatakeshan Prabhas, Nabanastistan Prabhashay, Prabhashiyam, Mayo Kardiyam, Vaskayaman, Dandasausham Saitariyatpa Ravan, Paidaravan, Mardaravan, Sardegan, Yagan, Farsandan, Payavandan, Parastaran Nabanastistan, Pravashuvan, Yokardeyan, Vaskayaman, Dandasausham, Saidariyatpa Amatornan, Namaratistaran, Namavastyoshan, Namautoshan, Namapravashuvan, Namayokardeyan, Vaskayaman, Dandasausham, Saidariyatpa Ama Pravashuvan, Aftakeshwar Zamin, Narzai Saving, Pradadam, Speedadam, Svaurubarin, Svaurujarin, Kanaratabami Kangareshuvan, Varzaim Kardan, Ganjamatran, Ama Pravashuvan, Hamayu Kardiya Askayomar, Dandasausham, Saidariyatpa Gurzai Karyavasiyam, Dinshnuman, Saroshashom, Tagitan Farma Stikaftazen, Zinabazal, Salaridamane, Yavramastam, Parisa Nam Chesti, Anushirabandavani, Ostaratan, Nervad Naval, Laidriyatpam, Danushirabandavani Osta Ratan Nervat Naval Laidriyatpam Danushirabandvani Osta Ratan Nervat Naval Laidriyatpam Danushirabandvani Amashurvan Amashu Paravan Laidriyatpam Parmayasni Amanjuman Masayasni Parasan Hum Kerfe Amavyam Naftakeshwar Zamin Barasan Kiraga Rojasherian Keshpiros Garba Iswarabani Huzurktai Upachai Datin Pemas Deyasnang Agirabai Wafrangan Ba Naftakeshwar Zamin Edun Ba Ajashne Ujashne Ba Parmayasni Nagirashne Ba Sadhu Basekari Darbandi Devayasni Deriavarishan Ba Daidun Ba Aishan Keshan Dushmyasanan Karkore Yoim Berenay Masayasnan Yoim Berenay Masayasnan Benayar Gagarnayan Guzar Kumede Merfrakyo Davari Rata Juttar Pistar Peresa Asama Gunang Parat Pashimanum Papatithom Shaune Shimbom Vaistamasti Ushtasti Ushtamai Yadashai Vaistai Shem Can we all pray together? Now to Ramadan to Hashem Bahu. Now to Ramadan Hashem Bahu Vaistamasi Ushtasi Ushtamai Yadashai Vaistai Hashem Hashem Bahu Vaistamasi Ushtasi Ushtamai Yadashai Vaistai Hashem
Baname kuda baname yasa Bakshayende bakshayas grame Banyata vayo pan shembo se Frabrane gayu shiran shnumandaman Fravasyasat horamazdame shaspandan beresa Goje kore abasayat in shnumaine sarashasho takitam faman Shikafta zinzin abazat salareta mane Horamasta beresat Nirang piroj gabad kore bedine mazdiasnam rababa Anda hafta keshvanam chestiata kamba Hasta sherestan anda haroshe sherestan Pari Firoji Shadi Ramashni Ravan Koreka Juste Avazunba Avazun Taba Koreka Juste Bat Inshnu Maine Sarashasho Takitam Farman Shekafta Zinzin Abazat Salaredamane Horamasta Beresat Kera go Sharia Kesha Jasne Kada Hom Darun Yasta Hom Yasamarainem Yokadeya Paganja Dada Horamazda Reoman Korimana Mesha Spandan Beresat Ojo Nirataki Amavandahi Pirojgari Inshnu Maine Sarasha Shotaki Tamparman Shekafta Zinzin Abaza Salare Damane Ora Mazda Beresat Asama Padi Rafta Badi Maria Panya Keda Neptukta Peti Duavazda Stayafta Kabat Keratika Miya Sazamad Miya Sayam Saktama Mara Kamra Chianta Asyantani Kad Yak Asama Asapadi Rafta Bad Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatawani Osta Ratan Ebad Naval Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Osta Ratan Ebad Naval Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Osta Ratan Ebad Naval Edayat Bad Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatawani Hamasho Farawa Edayat Bad Brahmayasne Hama Anjuman Mazdiyasni Beresat Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatawani Zatustra Spitamana Shofarawa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Isat Vastra Zatustra Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Havovi Zatustra Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Kushiche Zatustra Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Dokto Purachaspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Major Maraspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Araspa Petaraspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Purachaspa Petaraspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Petaraspa Uvataspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Uvataspa Hechavaspa Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Hechavaspa Chakshnoish Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Petarasnahada Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Hada Spitaman Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Spitaman Vindashne Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Faraduna Travan Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatawani Rustamezal Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Zalisam Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Sami Nariman Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Naramana Kesas Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Kesas Asrat Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Asrat Atarat Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani to Jamshid Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Jamshid Revangan Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Revangan Tamaras Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Tamaras Hoshang Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Hoshang Shamak Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Shamak Gayomat Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Gayomat Narasho Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Gayo Anaras Narasho Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Savaks Narasho Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Ketayan Gushtash Bisha Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Espandia Gushtash Bisha Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Gushtash Bisha Laras Bisha Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Atishe Bapigan Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani no Shiwan Kekobat Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Yastiga Sharia Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Jamas Habub Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Frosted Habub Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Adabiraf Adafrabash Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Adabad Maraspan Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Mobit Shapo Mobit Sharia Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Mobit Homastia Ebed Ramya Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Mobit Narashang Ebed Daval Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Dastu Meji Ebed Bacha Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Dastu Jamshid Ebed Sorab Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Dastu Sorab Ebed Homast Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Dastu Azakevan Dastu Azagushas Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Mobid Marabam Mobid Jamshid Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Mobid Paradun Mobid Baman Edayat Bad Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatwani Zatu Amasho Farawa Edayat Bad Brahmayasne Hama Anjuman Masdiyasni Barasad Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatwani Osta Ratan Ebadava Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Osta Ratan Ebadabal Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Osta Ratan Ebadabal Naval Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Ebed Naval Ebed Homasji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Osti Nabazbai Ebed Ratan Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Bedin Sunni Bedin Kavasji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Ebed Ratan Ebed Jamasji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Osti Herabai Ebed Jamsidji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Ebed Jamsidji Ebed Naswanji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani Osti Chivanbai Ebed Naswanji Edayat Bad Anu Sharawatwani, Ebed Naswanji, Ebed Ratanji, Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Osti Marabai, Ebed Dorab, Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Ebed Dorab, Ebed Jamshidji, Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Osta Jangi, Ebed Ratanji, Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Ebed Ratan, Ebed Dadabai, Edayat Bad. Nam Chesti, Anu Sharawatwani, Hamasho Farawa, Edayat Bad. Brahmayasne, Hama Anjuman, Mazdiyasni Beresad. Hama Pravashashon, Yokadaya, Charan Dahom, Sibro Salro, Jazgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Hastam Budam, Bedan Zadan, Azadan, Adahi, Ustahi, Daham, Narika Vanai Punai, Hakavin Zamin, Peri Bedinin Gudaran Shud Hast. Hama Pravashashon, Yokadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Ke Imam Besos and the rest they could just a hen a ma Pravashashon, Yokadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Ashon, Pravash Chiran, Pravash Abhijan, Pravash Piroj Garan, Pravash Purification, Pravash Nabashishtanan, Pravashi Pravashio, Hamayo Kadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Rabane Mat. Padaram, Madaran, Jadagan, Yagan, Fazandam, Pavandam, Parishtaran, Nabashishtanan, Pravashashon, Yokadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Hamatonan, Hamarastriya Shanama, Vastriya Shanama, Tok Shanama, Pravashashon, Hamayokadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Hama Pravashashon, Hafte Kishva Zamin, Ariza Sabaf, Radavas, Vidavas, Burbares, Buzares, Canvas, Bami, Kandazashon, Vajan, Kadan, Gantramatran, Hama Pravashashon, Hamayokadaya, Azgayomad. Under socials, Edayat Bad. Goje Korea Vazayat Inshnu Maine Sarashasho Takitam Brahman Shekaf the Zinzinavaza Salare Damane Horamasta Beresad Nam Chesti Anu Sharawatwani Osta Ratan Ebed Naval Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Osta Ratan, Ebed Naval, Edayat Bad. Anu Sharawatwani, Osta Ratan, Ebed Naval, Edayat Bad. Nam Chesti, Anu Sharawatwani, Hamasho Farawa, Edayat Bad. Brahmayasne, Hama Anjuman, Mazdiyasni Beresad. Ham Kefe, Hama Biane, Hafte Keshva Zamin Beresad, Kegaro, Sharia, Keshvaroj Gavad.
Itahu Verio, Taratu, Shati, Chow, Mungus, Zda, Maningo, Sutanam, Mungus, Zdai. Trimcha, Huraya, Yimdikapyo, Dratbastare. Itahu Verio, Taratu, Shati, Chow, Mungus, Zda, Maningo, Sutanam, Mungus, Zdai. Trimcha, Huraya, Yimdikapyo, Dratbastare. Itahu Verio, Taratu, Shati, Chow, Mungus, Zda, Maningo, Sutanam, Mungus, Zdai. Trimcha, Huraya, Yimdikapyo, Dratbastare. Itahu Verio, Tartu, Shati, Chow, Mungus, Zda, Maningo, Sutanam, Mungus, Zdai. Trimcha, Huraya, Yimdikapyo, Dratbastare. Itahu Verio, Tartu, Shati, Chow, Mungus, Zda, Maningo, Sutanam, Mungus, Zdai. Trimcha, Huraya, Yimdikapyo, Dratbastare. Shembu, Vishtamastam, Stastam, Statmai, Shai, Visai, Shem. Shembu, Vishtamastam, Stastam, Statmai, Shai, Visai, Shem. Shembu, Vishtamastam, Stastam, Statmai, Shai, Visai, Shem. Rani, Jastam, Satush, Ishvide, Baruch, Kesho. Vijanai, Shone, Sharatve, Snaita, Maita, Snotraita, Tastia, Shao. Rat Vidai, Maita, Shone, Sharatve, Snaita, Maita, Snotraita, Tastia, Shao. Surshashe Tatmeta Matri Lakshusha He Snautra Snaicha Maicha Snautra Tasia Chow
Yata who brango zota from emrute.
Yitahu Beryo Jota Ame Murite
Atara tu sisachi da chafrasha bibamarutu.
Saroshimashin
Roshim Rotim Pratrachim Plicatum Shan Sharatum Shimide Yanyam Yopani Yehe Zotareotum Gemarichon Chabasati Pekatio Yanamagami Yanam Native Salman Yanam which been Maravias Steam Shimpu Noise the Petro Ceremony Announcement Main Justam Grisha Get the Audio from the Nishta Minima Video Onoi Tasha Twasara Petam Tasakam Ere Gangachin Gangachin Stram Pizais from Trias Roshim Shimzatu Bishim Chabang Game Zatim Nerim Chesam Game Rutim Chano Jumyat among Gibrejus Roshim Roshim Shim is made there some present is made Im Hermanstam you shap not mo you shajak the mo with special way of that is made Pasta Barasta shooting is made Basha Punyasha Ingeta Matyesni Peti Bongo Mustrabeta Shatacha Yongam Chatas Chatayosha is a made Shem Stamasti Stas Stamai Shai Stai Shem Shem Stamasti Stas Stamai Shai Stai Shem Shem Stamasti Stas Stamai Shai Stai Shem
Oramas down to the token and guato.
Ormas Daura with the way my gatos
Afinam Shechum the Kapachu Pamai Paration
Mem Tashkim Root, Hindrasham, Ratan, Drinking Supatan, Tartu, Shinte, Afrinami, Bavan, Kanibia, wishing them out Humtanam, Bartanam, Yadacha, Nidacha, Babisanam Chababisanam Maybe Jaretaro, Ninstaro, Yatana, Punam, he. Humtanam, Bartanam, Nidacha, Nidacha, Babisanam Chababisanam Chow. Maybe Jaretaro, Ninstaro, Yatana, Punam, he.
Yatahu Vaidyo
Tartu Shati Chow, Damaringo, Sotanam, Gizai, Shatrim Chahraya, Yimtapio, Bastare, Shem Buzu, Mastu Shati, Damai, Shai, Shem. Tahu Berio, Tartu Shati Chow, Damaringo, Sotanam, Gizai, Shatrim Chahraya, Yimtapio, Bastare. Tahu Berio, Tartu Shati Chow, Damaringo, Sotanam, Gizai. Shatrim Chahraya, Yimtapio, Bastare. Jasnim Chow, Pamim Chow, Just Chow, Zabret Chow, Prinami. Saroshe, Taki Tramati, Tashi, Yahe. Shem, Vishmasti, Sasti, Samai, Sai, Shem. Tajamya, Taprinami, Uthanam, Rasnam, Dacha, Resnam Chow, Maybe Taro, Yatana, Punam,
Azangaram
Zangrem Bishnam Bebre Bishnam Zangrem Bishnam Bebre Bishnam Zangrem Bishnam Bebre Bishnam Shem Guhu Ishmastu Shtastu Shtamai Shai Visai Shem Shmevan Gemas Dao Shmevan Gemas Dao Shmevan Gemas Dao Me Tashte Rute Retragni Udate Benintio Chopratato Shekrate Zarvane Kane Zarvane Dervukrate Shem Guhu Ishmastu Shtastu Shtamai Shai Visai Shem
Panami
Panami Kadao, Panami Wizard, Patrende, Pacheter Ban, Dan Panaba, Jo Shadba, Yata Verio, Tartu, Shadi Chow, Mungu, Stamango, Shotanam, Yushzai, Trim Chapraya, Yinderkabyo, Drapastare, Ta Verio, Tartu, Shadi Chow, Mungu, Stamango, Shotanam, Yushzai, Trim Chapraya, Yinderkabyo, Drapastare, Tandurusti, Desi Vashni Riyad, Premdar Shaida, Stani Manwan, Stani Gityan, after Mission Spendam, Station Perisha, in Doyaba, Chidin Shah, Aiden Ba, Rikuda, Kurabanda Lambra, Man Juman Rao, Man Juman Rao. Zana Prim Bow, Sanskrit Bow, Baruch Bow, Mama Barak Bow. Standing salt, standing room, standing mouth, because Father Zani Dao, Zashni, Mani Ashni, Maradi, Bazo, Parishni, Sheremo, Kepa. Tandurusti Bow, Neki Bow, Poop Bow, Aiden Bow, Tarush Bow, Pakistan, Mamishan Dan, Kame Bow. Shone, Shem Bahu, Ishtamas Tushtas, Tushta, Mai, Shai, Visai, Shem.
May I request you all to May I request you all to join for Snout our Ramazan Tuition Day together. Snout our Ramazan, Shem Bahu, Vaistamasti, Shatu, Shamai, Shai, Visai, Shem. Shem Bahu, Vaistamasti, Shatu, Shamai, Shai, Visai, Shem.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can resume your seats and be seated. We will just make arrangements for tributes to be paid to the late from Tata. We have a number of dignitaries and we are very grateful to them coming here, led by our patron, Victoria. We have people from the Tata organization, people from the Indian High Commission, and people from the Interfaith Network, and we are very grateful to all of you because we are paying our respects, not just to the well great Zoroastrian, but to a great Saint and a great patriot who always wanted to show this India that we could do what the West thought we could not. So, as soon as the stage is ready, we will invite Lord Naval to lead the tributes. This function is being broadcast to the Western community and television all over the world. And we, the Zoroastrian Trust of Europe, have always enjoyed a very close relationship with the House of Tata. founder of the dynasty, Jamshedji Tata. His two sons, Dora and Ratan, are buried in our Brookwood Cemetery in England. And many of their relatives are here as well. The only distinguished Tata who is not in Brookwood, but he is in Père Lachaise in Paris, is the late J.R. because he had a French mother who was in the cemetery in France. And even his funeral was performed by ZTF Morbets, our very distinguished past president, Edward Zal Sena, and Edward Rustam Bhelwa, our former vice president and trustee. They were taken by the late and great Manik Dalal, who was also a trustee of this association. They were taken by him to Paris to perform the last rites of the late J.R. Tata. So we have very close relations with the Tata family, and that is why we have decided that Zoroastrian prayers will be offered for the soul of Ratan Tata by the ZTF. Uthamna can be held anywhere in the world by well-wishers and followers of the religion. And it is very distinguished that we have three of our outstanding Morbets, including one who is a very senior police officer, who is here with us and who did the prayers. Edward Yazan Bhara, Edward Zubin Reiter, and Edward Zubin Bhelwa. And Zubin Bhelwa is the son of Edward Lucy Bhelwa, who did the funeral of J.R. Tata. We have a long history. Every year, I think on the 3rd of March, on Founders' Day of the Tata companies, the birth anniversary of Jamshedji Tata, we have a function at Brookwood every year, scrupulously, and the mausoleums are maintained jointly by the ZTFE and by the Tata organization. And I am delighted that from the Tata organization we have a face from many years, a very old friend who has come today. And Anwar, would you please stand, Anwar Hussain, who was the head of the Tatas. He was here during the time of the historic takeover of Chorus Steel and later of Jaguar Land Rover. And Anwar was the unquestioned leader of what we call the India Group in the UK, when we started meeting various politicians and impressing upon them that India is a country that you cannot afford not to engage with. And I remember we met David Cameron, and he told us, he said, you know, when I become Prime Minister, when I became leader of the Tory party, parliamentary leader, the first country I visited was India. I went to Pune to inaugurate the Bamford factory. So these relations go on for long. I think I will now invite Lord William to lead the tributes. Lord William is one person who has been a great benefactor and helper of the community, a great leader. I remember my friend Dr. Nathubai Shah telling me that the Hindu community has so many lords in the House of Lords. And I एक lord छह हजारों आखी cricket team समझ. So with those words, may I invite Lord William on the stage.
Gaurav, thank you very much for all that you've said, and Malcolm, thank you for organising and everyone involved in organising this event, these prayers and this tribute to a great, great man at such short notice. And the amount of people, all of you who've come here, just says so much about Ratan Naval Tata, born on the 28th of December 1937, and of course passed away on the 9th of October. If I may, I will just read out the message from the chairman of Tata Sons, Mr. Chandrasekharan, or Chandra as we call him. And we have representatives from the Tata Group here, Meher is over here from Tata Naval, and thank you, just hold it, it's fine, thank you. So I'll read out Chandra's message. It is with profound sense of loss that we bid farewell to Mr. Ratan Naval Tata, a truly uncommon leader whose immeasurable contributions have shaped not only the Tata Group, but also the very fabric of our nation. For the Tata Group, Mr. Tata was more than a chairperson to me. He was a mentor, a guide, and a friend. He inspired by example with an unwavering commitment to excellence, integrity, and innovation. The Tata Group, under his stewardship, expanded its global footprint while always remaining true to its moral compass. Mr. Tata's dedication to philanthropy and the development of society has touched the lives of millions. From education to healthcare, his initiatives have left a deep-rooted mark that will benefit generations to come. Reinforcing all of this work was Mr. Tata's genuine humility in every individual interaction. On behalf of the entire Tata family, I extend our deepest condolences to his loved ones. His legacy will continue to inspire us as we strive to uphold the principles he so passionately championed. And that is from Chandra and Chandrasekharan, Chairman of Tata Sons. So, to me, if I may just share with you my personal messages, recollections of somebody who I was privileged to know for many years. Somebody who has always inspired me as an individual, and I know millions, hundreds of millions of people. He was given the Padma Vibhushan in 2008. He was knighted by Her Majesty the Queen in 2014. He studied at Cornell University in America. He later studied at the Harvard Business School, and I'm a fellow alumnus of the Harvard Business School, and I was so proud when he donated a huge amount of money to build the Tata Hall in Harvard Business School, which I had stayed at many times when I'd gone to study at Harvard. We sat on the Cambridge University India board together, which used to meet in India every year. And although Ratan himself was not an alumnus of Cambridge, the Tata family, going back over 100 years, have studied at Cambridge University, and he was committed and dedicated to his support of the University of Cambridge and would turn up for every single meeting that took place. His philanthropy is renowned, his values are just legendary, his vision under his leadership. I mean, can you imagine taking over from J.R.D. Tata? J.R.D. Tata was a legend. How do you even think you can match that, let alone build on somebody like J.R.D. Tata? Well, Ratan Tata did it. He did it. He stood on the shoulder of that giant and became a giant that we will now see people standing on the shoulder of. Technically, while driving here, I passed by the headquarters of Tata Consumer Products. Technically, the first time an Indian company bought a major consumer brand in this country. It was a matter of great pride for us. And then I remember the battle, the competition against the Brazilians to win Chorus Steel, British Steel, a huge multi-billion-dollar acquisition, a huge risk that was taken by Ratan himself. And I, on several occasions during those negotiations, on one occasion we were on a flight back together to India, I know what he went through to win that battle. And then Jaguar Land Rover, what an acquisition that was. Two fabulous, world-famous marks belonging to a Tata company, and now Tatas are the largest employers as a manufacturing company in the UK. And today, the market capitalization, the value of the Tata Group, is over $400 billion, soon to be $500 billion, making it one of the most valuable groups in the world. And that has all happened under the leadership of Ratan Tata. From Tata TCS in IT, people talk about Infosys, people talk about Wipro, but the biggest of them all is TCS. Tata Motors, which was a passion for Ratan. He loved that company. He designed some of the cars himself, let alone chemicals. And under his leadership, Air India, J.R.D. Tata, back in the hands now through Ratan Tata. Air India is back as a Tata company and will be one of the finest airlines in the world. And of course, the true test of leadership is always in the horrible, tough times. And what could have been worse than the tragedy of the 26th of November at the Taj Hotel in Mumbai? And the way that Ratan Tata behaved after that tragedy, the way in which he personally made sure that every single person affected by that tragedy was looked after, their families looked after, their education paid for. He would go and visit people miles and miles away just to meet them face to face. This was the great man that he was. And of course, his love of dogs was legendary. Last weekend I was in France with my friend Sohail Seth, and he tells a story of when Ratan Tata was going to be honoured by, at that time, His Majesty the King was Prince Charles, Prince of Wales. It's a big event being laid on for him at Buckingham Palace. And Sohail himself was coming to that event, and then he got a call saying, "I'm not coming." Why? One of his dogs, Tito, was not well. He said, "My dog is not well, I cannot leave my dog, I'm not coming." And you know, Prince Charles's reaction was, he wasn't upset. He said, "That is the man, that is the great man that Ratan Tata is." So I can tell you that as a Zoroastrian Parsi, he was a proud Zoroastrian Parsi. He embodied all our principles and values of charity, philanthropy, doing the right thing, always. I have had the privilege of sharing the platform with him time after time. I've been on a platform with him, with the Prime Minister of India sitting on the platform with us. And I have seen every single person give far more respect to Ratan Tata than to anybody else, even the Prime Minister. He was the one who always commanded the greatest of respect, and I've seen that firsthand. So I conclude with reading out a message that was sent to me by my friend Gayatri Kumar, Her Excellency Ambassador Kumar was High Commissioner here in the UK, a very popular High Commissioner. And she sent this message to me, and I said, "Gayatri, please may I have your permission to read this message out to my community at our prayers?" And she said, "Please, I would be honored if you quoted me to the Zoroastrian community. I've always held them in the highest regard. I cannot think of a more apt occasion to convey my sincere admiration and my sense of loss at the passing of that great man, a true leader in good thoughts, good words, and good deeds." And her message is this, and I'm reading it word for word. Om Shanti. Woke up with the sad news of the great Ratan Tata's passing. He was a luminary in independent India's growth story, a true Ratan, jewel of Bharat. He shall be remembered most of all for the work ethics that he created and sustained across the gigantic Tata Group, ingrained into each employee that was so appropriate for our country, profit and growth with social responsibility. And with his personal example, he set the bar for high standards of corporate behavior that has characterized his great achievements and leadership of the Tatas. And throughout his illustrious career at the helm of Indian industry, so close to politicians, yet steering clear of politics, he remained an honest personality of few words, great humility and simplicity, and a very thoughtful, gentle manner. What a lifetime of achievements. He should be celebrated, not mourned. May his good soul rest in peace, Om Shanti. I don't think it could have been put better than that. What a great man he was, and how lucky we all are that we will always be inspired by Ratan Tata. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karan. We are going to have a few more speakers, short speeches. It's not going to be a long speech occasion. And we are very honored that the Indian High Commission have sent their representative at very short notice. May I invite Mr. Lakshminarayan to please come onto the stage. And then after him, Farooq Parekh should be ready with the message from the head of the Tata organization here in the UK. And after that will be Naval Zawari, who is the regional director for the Indian Hotels Company.
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, I thank the organizers for organizing it in such a short notice, a large gathering, to celebrate one of the India's finest proponent of capitalism across the globe. It has been an honor for High Commission to join this moving occasion to pay tribute to one of the great souls of India. I'm just remembering the Shakespearean word about greatness, that some men are born great, some acquire greatness. In some of the cases, greatness is thrust upon them. But I believe Sri Ratan Tata has also added a fourth dimension to his greatness, that he inspired people around him also to be a great character, and that is envisaged in the leadership he instilled around his companies in the Tata Group by bringing up great visionary leadership within his own organization. When I reflect back, I'm a member of an economic division within High Commission. When I reflect back on capitalism, it is always seen as an instrument where the society's collective endeavor is placed at the benefit of few. But I think Sri Ratan Tata has bring the Indianness into the capitalism by ensuring wealth is placed at the service of the society and to find solutions for the larger problems of the society. One moving thing which we could reflect is the Tata Institute of Cancer Research. I've seen children getting benefited out of this thing. There is a large number of people who are being treated without charging any fees for such an item like cancer. In this regard, the Indian government has also rightly recognized him during his living times with lots of applause and rightfully declared a state of mourning, day of mourning by state government of Maharashtra and Indian government. I join you all in paying tributes to this noble and great soul, and thank you for it.
Thank you very much. Now may I invite Farooq Parekh and Merdawaz to please come onto the stage. And in the meantime, sir, if you will please carry back a request from the congregation here to the very distinguished His Excellency the High Commissioner, who is well known to us, Mr. Doraiswamy, that the Chief Minister of Maharashtra yesterday announced that his party, the Shiv Sena, calls upon the government of India to bestow the Bharat Ratna on Mr. Ratan Tata. He is a Padma Vibhushan. And we hope, and I feel almost certain, because the way in which the government of India, the Home Minister was there for the funeral, etc., paid their respects, that it will only be a matter of time before he is made a Bharat Ratna, as was J.R.D. Tata. For
I'd just like to give you a message on behalf of Tim Jones, our Executive Director, who sends his apologies. He wasn't able to make it today. So, he says, Ratan, Naval, Tata embody everything that the Tatas seek to strive for: courage, humility, courtesy, honesty, and hard work. Yet he showed great courage when he took on the reins of the group in 1991, facing the old guard and the challenges that he came across at that stage. He was rewarded with spectacular growth and moved to a more professional and coherent approach to Tata companies. It was his era, his audacity, and his perseverance in acquiring Techly, Chorus, and JLR that will most likely define him. He was a true game changer, defining a noble, global approach for the Indian businesses that many have subsequently embraced and followed. Tireless in his commitment to India and to business, he continued both to endow and to invest in his later years, building a huge following and becoming a revered business icon for millions of people in India and around the world. The Tata Group always had a principle of working for the community and putting back to the stakeholders, and during this time he formalized an approach by introducing the Tata Code of Conduct, which was a document embodying how all of his the group and the employees of the companies would have to perform and to act in a sort of honourable way and with ethics. All of us, when we join the company, are required to go through everything and sign that document to say we're committed to it. And that's something that he also introduced and formalized during his time. Ratan Naval Tata joined the pantheons of the Tata, great Tata leaders, and he'll be sorely missed, but his words and his actions will resonate and inspire for decades to come. I'd just like to sort of give you a snippet of a sort of personal side to him. Yesterday I received a message from Daphne Harris, who was one of our employees. She was the PA to a number of our company secretaries, both Mr. Mimi Khalifa and Jimmy Contractor, when she retired in 2010. But her message said that she recalls with great fondness when Ratan Tata sent her a message of condolence personally when her husband had passed away on the day of the funeral. She received a phone call from him giving these messages to her, and she, always, that sort of personal touch always saying her to her. And like that, I'm sure it was for many other people that he would have touched them in a personal way as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. I forgot to acknowledge my dear friend Jimmy Contractor. Where is he? Jimmy used to be the ZTF's ambassador to the Tatas for almost 50 years, and I'm sure he is delighted to be reunited with his former boss Anwar, who has also taken the trouble to be with us today. Now, I am going to invite Naval Zavari, who is the Regional Director of Indian Hotels Company, has been a great friend of the ZTF. All the wonderful Nowruz lunches that we have at the St. James's Court Hotel would not be possible without her benevolence and her cooperation. Benevolence, here we are. And incidentally, she is a second generation Tataite. Her father was a very distinguished leader of Tata Motors. I would have been a third generation Tataite. My grandfather worked for Empress Mills in Nagpur. My father worked for Empress Mills in Nagpur. Then we settled in Bombay. He left the Tatas. And I had to choose in my career between joining Godrej or Tata. And I opted for Godrej. And I'm very happy for the choice. But obviously the two groups, Godrej and Tata, also very close. The chairmen were very close. The only time I got a chance to meet the late J.R.P. Tata was with my late chairman, Sorabji Godrej. And would you believe it? I know some people will not believe it, but they started talking to each other in French. Both of them, J.R.P. had a French mother, Sorabji was the president of the Alliance Française and loved to sharpen. He said, I always practice my French with Jay. So they would talk to each other in French. Anyway, with those words, well words, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, I would like to thank ZTFE for inviting me and my colleagues from Taj and Tatas to join you all in the Uthamna ceremony of our beloved Mr. Ratan Tata, Chairman Emeritus of the Tata Group. His loss has left a deep void, not just in the community and India as a nation, but also in the hearts of millions of people across the world, for whom he stood as the icon of courage and integrity. From torchbearer to transformer, the late Chairman Emeritus steered the Tata Group into a new age and did it in his own distinctive style. In 1962, when he began working for the Tata Group in several companies, starting at the shop floor level to understand the needs and challenges So in 1962, as I was saying, he began working for the Tata Group in several companies, starting at the shop floor, to understand the needs and the challenges of the people at various levels in the organization. With stories of his empathy, modesty resound every corner of our organization, with several instances of him visiting the humble homes of all our associates. Hailing from a Tata loyal family that, in my words, I always say, a buy Tata, be Tata and live Tata family, we always felt a strong connect with Mr. Tata and the values he instilled in the group. You can imagine what our dinner conversations were at home, with one uncle retiring as the board director of TCS, another one being the chairman and managing director of Tata Communications, and my own father, Mr. Parvez Avari, who gave his entire life spanning 40 years at Tata Motors, growing through the ranks from shop floor to board positions. We sisters grew up hearing of Mr. Tata's commitment to values and stories about the intricacies around the boardroom table at Bombay House. In a specific instance, my father shared an interaction he had with Mr. Tata, where in his capacity as the head of corporate planning, he was called in to review the large capital expenditures in the company. My father reluctantly brought up the matter about the purchase of an airplane that had happened without the relevant documentation and allocations in place. Mr. Tata remarked respectfully, Mr. Avari, Director A and I are not the owners of the company. You have every right to question us. Such was the righteousness of this leader. Thereafter, he personally spearheaded a committee to set up a robust capital budgeting and expenditure procedure. It is no surprise that of 3 daughters, my eldest sister Padma worked at Taj for over a decade before she had started her own business in San Francisco. The second sister, Delna, a talented task officer, became the head of passenger car marketing in Tata Motors and worked very closely with Mr. Tata on the Nano project, amongst many other projects. And me, the third, here in front of you, overseeing the interests of IHCL as the area director for UK after an eventful career of 24 years at the Taj. I recall his humility through a personal experience. When I kept him company while he was waiting for his guests to arrive and enjoyed a very inspiring, mentoring conversation. Yet, upon the arrival of his guests, before I could even thank him for his time, he thanked me for taking time out from my work schedule. I could only respond by saying, Mr. Tata, anyone would give an arm and a leg to spend such quality time with you. I always felt his presence around my development as he would celebrate every little achievement I had reached in my career. My mother, Hilla Abari, who is here with us today, also joined Tata AIA after retiring from Zoroastrian Cooperative Bank. I think she just didn't want to be left out. I am sure she would have ample stories to share with you over tea time. So to conclude, in Apno Ratan's memory, let us be reminded of his own words. I want to be remembered as a person who made a difference. Not anything more, not anything less. He remains forever in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very heartfelt tribute to the late Ratan Tata. I will also now invite Mr. Naveen Shah, the great friend of the Zoroastrian community, great friend of ZTFE, and enjoyed, I think, 3 terms as a GLA member, and has obtained the CBE. He will, and then after him will be Rusi Dalal. So I will request Rusi also to make his way forward, and then there will be only a couple of more short speeches. And by the way, don't move, we are going to take a photograph because we've just got requests from the Indian media. People have suddenly woken up in India and said, Uthamna is in London. So they want pictures, so we will take a picture of the audience also and send it.
Good afternoon and Saji. I asked Malcolm to speak, which I normally won't ever do. But this occasion is so exceptional because it is about exceptional person, and I wanted to have this opportunity to pay a tribute to Sir Ratan Tata and share a couple of thoughts with you. So thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Kawasatra. In my view, we tend to use the adjective or superlative legend too liberally when describing achievements of a person. Generally, such an expression is emotionally speaking and meant as well. But when examined objectively, often it's an exaggeration and even at times misplaced. But in case of Sir Ratan Tata, there is no such question or doubt whatsoever. Anyone who even half knows about Sir Ratan Tata's contribution knows he was a giant, a true legend, and an international icon. I believe Sir Ratan Tata at an interview was asked, what is the difference between you and another leading businessman? I shan't name the name. He said, I'm an industrialist and that businessman is into business. An industrial looks after establishing industries, looks after the interest of the nation first. The businessman first looks at his profits and losses. He said, like quote, don't just build a business, build a legacy that touches lives. This sums up Tata's approach to what is lifelong ethos and what it was all about. At one end, we have a legend in late Sir Ratan Tata with his worldwide industries and his major contribution towards nation building to benefit generations of Indians, supporting his employees and poor people from the wealth he generated. At the other hand, in India, we have a modern most able and dynamic businesses, tycoons with limitless wealth that they accumulate. But when you see the context of growing disparity between the rich and the poor in India, with most of the poor living in abject poverty, it is disturbing to see how those tycoons throw their wealth around. It's, to be honest, not just wasteful, it's vulgar and sickening as far as I'm concerned. Certain Tata's family members in their message have said, and I quote, his legacy of humility, generosity, and purpose will continue to inspire future generations. How very true. Who can disagree with this? But I would add, it's not just the future generations, it is the current crop of businesses and big tycoons like Ambani's, Reliance, Adani's, Hindujas, and the like can follow in the footsteps of Sir Ratan Tata because his legacy must live on for the sake of humanity, fairness, care, and concerns for all human beings, particularly the poor and the deprived. We all have a role to play in this, and that would be a real tribute to Sir Ratan Tata. Let us pray for Sir Ratan Tata, whose memory will always live with us and inspire us. May his soul rest in peace. Om Shanti Shanti. I would like to end saying that this is a big occasion for Harrow, which prides itself in diversity. It is great to see that Harrow's community is represented here, right across the hall, which reflects how much we care and honor the people worldwide. And Sir Ratan Tata is for us everything that one should be. And I'm pleased to say that we have two former mayors of Harrow present with us. We have Councillor Janet Moot, as well as we have Councillor Rekha Shah. So, in all, it is a great opportunity to be here, pay tribute to Sir Ratan Tata. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Naval. We may not have been in Harrow if the planning committee chair of that time was not Naveen Shah. So we have huge, but we have lost party support. Even the Conservative councillors, or Chris Noyce, the Lib Dem councillor, all of them supported us. May I invite the gentleman from Harrow Council to, I believe you are the chief whip. Please. And I will also invite Lord William to have one more go and tell us some personal incident, relevance of your interaction with Ratan. I'm sure there are many that you would like to.
Good afternoon, thank you. It's wonderful to be here to pay our respects and offer condolences on behalf of the Harrow Council Conservative Group, of which I am Chief Whip today, for Ratan, Naval, Tata. It's humbling to see so many community leaders, spiritual leaders, diplomatic representatives, and local political leaders here this afternoon. I can see councillors from the Conservative and Labour group representing wards from right across our London Borough of Harrow. In terms of former mayors that are here, I hate to correct former Assembly Member Shah, but we also have Councillor Jean Alman, Councillor Janet Moat, and Councillor Rekha Shah. I can't off the top of my head remember which years they were mayor, so I apologise, but we have several today. And I think that this is a reflection of how significant this is, and also
as I say, the different wards represented from right across our borough and right across our communities. And it's an honour for us to be here today as you pay tribute to this legendary industrialist, patriot and philanthropist. So thank you for inviting us and including us in this occasion. Thank you.
May I invite my distinguished predecessor and our past president and my colleague, trustee Lucy Dalal, while he makes his way to the stage. I will just remind you that Ratan Tata at heart was an Anglophile, deeply in love with this country, and that is why most of his foreign investments outside India happened to be in the UK, and he had a very close connection, the Tatas themselves, with this country. And that is why it is apt that we do prayers in memory of him here in Harrow, in London, in the UK. Lucy.
Thank you.
Lord Belvoria, colleagues and friends. I express my gratitude to the organizers for giving me the opportunity to address this solemn gathering, offering prayers for the soul of the dear departed Ratan Tata. I briefly talk about the Tata connection with ZTFE for over a long period of time, and I also give some of the tributes that have been paid by people who actually work with Ratan Tata. Let me begin with a particular information generally about the knowledge that the ZTFE has got a burial cemetery at Brookwood, which has been established in 1893, so it's basically about 160 years old. One of the prominent person that has been interred in our cemetery it was Jamshedji Tata, the founder of the Tata dynasty, and along with many of the Tata people, family are buried over there, and within the area of what we call a Tata grounds. Every year, we hold prayers related, recited in memory of a dead departed soul of the Tatas. These prayers are being offered in the name of the head of the family, and up to now it was Ratan Tata. The nature of the prayers over there that we hold will remain the same, except that Ratan's name will now be added to those who will be praying for their souls and will be remembered. We were also very proud that ZTFE was asked to organize the Zoroastrian ceremony for his interment in Père Lachaise in Paris. And now today we have got this prayer ceremony for Ratan Tata himself. Under Ratan Tata's help, the Tata Group enhanced their share in business throughout the world, including the United Kingdom, like acquiring the Land Rover and Jaguar Motor Companies, along with many other businesses in the UK. When Ratan came to the UK negotiating the deals that he had with various companies, he was accompanied by one Ravi Kant, who was then the managing director of Tata Motors, a close associate and closest confidant of Ratan Tata, which now I would like to share with you. What Ravi Kant said, as I reminisce about Ratan Tata, with whom he had worked a quarter of a century in close association, three outstanding qualities stand out which set Ratan apart from other leaders. One, Ratan always looked at opportunities unconstrained or restricted by prevailing circumstances or challenges. He thought big, as he was not an incrementalist. He attracted others close to him with his open, unrestricted thinking. Two, He trusted people almost to a fault. In spite of having some bad experiences, he didn't waver his attitude to trust, which brought out a surge of energy and passion within the people he met. Thirdly, he fully backed his people. Even though sometimes things didn't go as he planned, he never rebuked the person, but instead encouraged him to explore the reasons and learn from it. This combination made certain of a very strong force. He was the ultimate. He was the ultimate leader who made leaders out of ordinary people. That was Ratan Tata. Well, these words are of a man who was associated with Ratan Tata for over 25 years. There is another very close colleague of Ratan Tata, Adi engineer, who headed the Tata Powers. Now, Tata Powers are Tata Motors are very important high-level companies within the Tata group. Adi was the head of the Tata Powers and worked very closely with Ratan. And he sent me some notes which I would like to just summarize very quickly over here. Adi says that since the passing away of Ratan Tata, there has been an outpouring of sentiments for the outstanding quality of Ratan's personality. Adi's association with Ratan is that of working relationship as a managing director of Tata Power, yet another major Tata company. Adi found Ratan to be a man of humility, generosity, kindness, and courtesy. In terms of working relationship, Ratan was a man of consensus and decision making. One instance that Adi is referring to is a request that came from one of the past Indian Prime Ministers, Manmohan Singh, to the Tata Power for a working paper on the power situation and the power sector in India. Ratan and Adi formulated a report for the eyes of the Prime Minister and went to New Delhi to discuss it with them. This discussion ultimately turned out positively towards a concept of an ultra mega power plant project in India that has now been implemented. Thus, Ratan has also contributed immensely towards the policy making of India, particularly of the infrastructure for the better future of India. So these are the compliments that Ratan has been having. He has Ratan followed the principles of Zoroastrian principles throughout his life. I'm happy to say that he personally, Ratan served, I'm so sorry, Ratan visited the Suez exhibition, that is the everlasting flame that was held in Delhi, and also witnessed the Cyrus cylinder that was exhibited in the Mumbai museum. So in other words, he was always in touch with the various aspects of the Zoroastrian life, which he retained right to the end. In conclusion, we offer our condolences to the family and friends of Ratan Tata. May Ratan's soul be blessed by Ahura Mazda, and let us pray that Ratan's soul remain in permanent abode in heaven. I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Lucy. Lucy mentioned and drew our attention to a very important connection with ZTFA and Ratan Tata. 2013, if you remember, we had that magnificent exhibition at SOAS on the history and culture of the Zoroastrians. The two curators of that exhibition, Firoza Godrej and Firoza Mistry, went to Ratan Tata with some hesitation, but he was all involved, all for it. He opened up the Tata archives, he made a personal donation to the fundraising campaign, and sent us Tata exhibits from the Tata archives. And we had an entire Tata wing as part of the exhibition at SOAS. We've never had an exhibition of that kind again, historically. And we are told that he personally took initiative in getting the Tatas involved in the history of the Zoroastrian community. So we are very grateful for his involvement at that time, and thank you, Lucy, for pointing that out. Now only two speeches to wind up. One from Karishma Koka, the information officer of ZTFE, and then Malcolm Demu, our president and the man who thought up this whole idea, thanks to meeting with Lord Villemoria and Lord Villemoria's support, and saying that I will come personally, but this tribute to Ratan must go ahead. So Lord Villemoria, unless you change your mind, I would like you to wind up at the end.
Thank you all for being here today in the true spirit of Frasho Kerti, the progress of the collective with the development of the individual, towards, as the late Queen said, building a community of communities. This is key to the Bharat ideal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. You have seen the words, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds above each time you have visited this beautiful, precious center. Ratan Tata, late Ravan Shah, but ever-living Ratan Tata, has brought me here to you today through his work, his commitment to education. Education of not just an individual, education of families, education of communities, and the growth of each person within that community is one of the founding principles upon which the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research built the National Center for Biological Sciences under the chairmanship of Sri Ratan Tata. Truly a gem, truly a Ratan. And it is that light which, like he himself said, let us rekindle, let us reignite the power of collaboration, with which he built the NCBS, the National Center for Biological Sciences, within, and this is key, within the umbrella of the Indian Institute of Sciences, taking forward this idea of Frasho, building fraternity, and leading to a heaven on earth, building this institution within the already existing institute, the IISC, Indian Institute of Science. This is the idea with which we have all collected here today to take forward the ideals under the existing umbrella and building upon the foundation that is so strong. Thank you, each of you, for building in your own small and big way one more brick in this idea of Garo de Mane, the house of song, the paradise which Sri Ratan Tata built during his lifetime as his predecessors built before him. Thank you.
Thank you, Karishma. And now, Malcolm Demu, our very distinguished president. He will wind up the proceedings and then we take a group photograph. We can also join all of you. And one little reminder, 2011, most of you were here when His late Royal Highness Prince Philip was here. And if you recall, Prince Philip mentioned two business houses that he had contact with in India. One was Tata, the other was Godrej. And he mentioned that he and Jay, his friend Jay, shared a love of flying. And in those young days, he said he used to fly to Australia from London, making 3 stops. And one of the stops was always in Jamshedpur, where his friend Jay had organized a wonderful reception for him. So these links between Great Britain and India, the House of Tatas, go back a long way. And that is why it is so important that this free trade agreement between our countries is also commensurate, is confirmed as quickly as possible. And we wish Lord William all the best, because I'm sure he's quietly lobbying in the background to bring it to fruition.
Thank you very much, Nora. Thank you for everybody for coming. I know some of you have come here for the first time. Welcome. It is important for a centre like ours, where we can sort of have a wide spectrum of people coming in to our doors. And of course, from the Harrow Council point of view, we are delighted that it is cross-party support. Because at the end of the day, not only are the first 3 parliamentary MPs, Dharma Ideology, Liberal, Samancheti Parliamentary, Conservative, Saklat Wala, who was actually Jamshedji Tata's nephew, Labour Communist. So we are individuals, and we welcome everybody to come to our doors. So thank you. I also, of course, like to thank very much all the Tata representatives coming with us. Some of you, of course, we meet at your house, so we're very happy that you are here with us today. Of course, this tribute today to Sir Ratan Tata, of course, very few of you are aware he was knighted by Her late Majesty the Queen. But of course, being a citizen of India, you cannot quite use the prefix Sir. Now, of course, that today's event would have been difficult for us to organize if our patron, Lord Curran Delivery, and of course the High Commission of India had readily agreed for the support. And one of the things when I first asked Lord Delivery, he said, gosh, I've got a very busy diary, but I will cancel everything. So we are truly humbled that you are with us. And after I got the agreement of Lord Billy and the High Commissioner, sadly the High Commissioner gave his apologies because he had to be at a long-standing engagement at Winchester. But we were delighted that his first Secretary of Economics and Income Tax, mind you, was here with us. And then, of course, I spoke to Naval and Farooq Parekh, and they both readily agreed on Tata. We're very delighted that you're with us as well. And that goes for everybody. Of course, I'd like to thank our priests. Without them, we would not have been able to have our prayers. Thanking, of course, Edward Yazad Bada, Edward Zubin Deva, Edward Zubin Writer, and of course, as Dora announced, Zubin Writer, he had a wider service and sacrifice to the community, and we are very blessed that he also looks after us now, not only spiritually, but also making sure the Zoroastrian Center is safe, as they did with the Mukhtar prayers recently in August, when we had a rather difficult period with us. Coming to Sir Ratan Tata, one of the things, the reflection, when he passed away, when I was at the event with Lord Billy the High Commissioner, was this, that every successor of the Tata group has improved the company. We started with Jamshedji Tata, And we remember the famous quip by a British official that the manufacture of Tata steel will never be accepted. When Ratan Tata was the chairman of the Tata Group, not only Tata steel was used the world over, but actually they acquired Chorus steel. So it's a very tremendous achievement of a humble beginnings in the Empress Mills, Nagpur, the various power projects. Of course, after Jamshedji passed away, Dorat came. First World War, Tata Steel was recognized for its high quality. We had Saklatwala as the chairman, then we have J.R.D. Tata. And even when J.R.D. took over, people were skeptical about his, because again, he was a very young person, and when he passed away, he was an icon. But Ratan Naval Tata took the Tatas into a new orbit. I think his single most achievement would be that he made Tata into a global recognized company, a global brand. And before, I remember when I used to be at university and taught at industrial relations, and I had given a particular essay on the Tata industrial relations. It was at that time, even from its not only capitalism, but the social capitalism, it was doing remarkable achievements in India. That has been now transferred the world over. And that not only gives the Zoroastrian community pride, but the wider Indian community with pride. And that is why, at a short notice, many of us from the wider Indian community are here. So thank you very much. And all I can conclude is this, that may Ratan Naval Tata's Pravishni, or the guardian spirit, continue to inspire us all to achieve high and to make sure that we are humble and we appreciate all the team who are with us. And I'd also like to, of course, thank my team here, especially my staff team, who were able to organize this at a very short notice. So thank you very much. And of course, afterwards, we are going to have the Afghani and those who would like to put the Noval. Please feel free to do so, and we're going to have some refreshments. But before that, I would like to invite our patron back to say a few words further about his relationship with Ratan. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm. And again, I think when Malcolm approached me when we heard the news, was I've just been appointed as the co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on India. And we had our inaugural event just near Parliament on the 9th. And when the High Commissioner was speaking, in his speech, he said, "I've just heard the sad news about Ratan Tata." So we had a minute's silence on the spot there and then. And that's when Malcolm took the initiative and said, "Will you come for this prayer meeting if we could hold on Friday?" And I said, "We're very busy, but I'll cancel my whole diary." And thanks to Malcolm, thanks for all your efforts and everyone. Thank you for all coming at short notice. Just to conclude, you've heard all these wonderful tributes paid, and there's a common thread about the great man, the great legend that we are remembering and celebrating his life. It's very clear thread that goes through. What hasn't been touched on is, and Dorat's request to share a couple of anecdotes, is that he was so clear about his values. I remember once when he bought Tata Steel, bought Jaguar Land Rover, and if you remember, then we had the financial crisis in 2008, 9, and 10, just after these major acquisitions. The Jaguar Land Rover acquisition was in 2008. And I remember going to visit the Land Rover factory, spending a whole day there, speaking to the employees. They said, "We are so happy that were going to be owned by the Tatas because we know their reputation. Isn't that wonderful? And yet straight off that was a financial crisis. And I remember I was on a plane when the crisis was taking place, and Ratan and I were seated next to each other on the plane back to India. And he said, I've just been trying to get the British government to help me. And Peter Mandelson, Lord Mandelson, was the business minister at the time. And he said, they're refusing to help me. And I'm really upset about it. I said, I'll do what I can when we get back. He said, don't worry, Karen. They're not going to help me. We'll do it ourselves. And they did it themselves. And those two companies are still very much around now. Another example was when there was a huge issue in India, and I spoke to Ratan after. I said, Ratan, it was an event at Buckingham Palace, talking to each other. I said, what happened, Ratan? What happened? The current happened again, and do exactly the same thing all over again. So he was very resolute as well. And what better leader can you have than somebody who's humble, somebody who's kind, somebody who's caring, yet who's also very firm. So everyone knew where they stood with him. And he just embodied what everyone believes about our wonderful community. You know, there isn't a day that goes by when I meet people who say, oh, you're Parsi, oh, you're very good people, you're very fine people. And somebody like him, a national figure, embodied that reputation of our community. Whereas Narayan Murthy saying to me at Infosys, I've never met a bad Parsi, let alone his wife Sudha, who worked for the Tatas for many years, saying, Parsi never cheats. And I'm a Tata scholar. I wouldn't be here talking to you without the help they gave me as a 19-year-old student to come and study in this country. So we're all in some way or the other beneficiaries of this wonderful company headed by this amazing, amazing man. I can just say, I'm lucky to have known him. Those of you here who met him are lucky to have met him. Even if you haven't met him, you will be inspired by him. And generations ahead will be inspired by Ratan Tata. So all I can say to you, Ratan, is thank you.
Ratan, so we've also got another Ratan. Can I just request? So, can you take a people?
Yeah.
Then in there, is that finished? You got plenty of plates there. Yeah? Yeah, put them on. Yeah.